Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qala rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace and blessings be upon you all. You are here on Ramadan special on EAVA FM on 102.5. You are here joined us in the studio on Our Voice with my co-host sister Salma. And I'm joined by a guest, Inshad Begum. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Jazakallah khair for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
No, alhamdulillah. So today's topic is the prophetic diet and how we can make it a way of life, inshallah. Okay, so I'm just going to read a biography just to introduce Sister Inshad. So she's a Mizan therapist. She's a student at the College of Healing Hearts and Medicine, studying Unani Tib medicine. She's healing herself through natural herbs, and she's a student of Tib. So that's how she likes to describe herself. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to hear from all of our listeners today and how you can make an impact and make changes in your life, but also the maybe some of the challenges that people might face and what stops them, and or also at the same time what brings people to the prophetic diet and why we maybe are not as proactive as we should be. So I'd like to hear from our studio audience, and the telephone number is 0116 212 9324. Text number is 07450 92508. We're here till 6 o'clock discussing the prophetic medicine, the way of life. Okay, so Sister Inshad, and so what brought you to this path? I want to hear, what's your story? I want you to tell us, tell our listeners.
Okay, assalamu alaikum to all the listeners out there. And again, thank you for inviting me. So I've always been interested in natural medicine, but I think my true journey actually started 2 years ago when I was diagnosed with a life-threatening illness.
Subhanallah.
And that's when I really had to think about, how am I going to heal myself? And to be honest, the first thought that came into my mind was actually from the Quran, where Allah says that there is no illness on the earth I have not brought a cure for. And that is what I followed, and that is what stuck in my mind. And that's when I decided, SubhanAllah, Allah has created the world for mankind, and He spent many years perfecting it for us. And surely there is no disease on the earth that Allah is going to put without a cure.
Subhanallah.
And that is where my journey originally started off. And alhamdulillah, it's been 2 years. I'm still healing myself through what I call Allah's pharmacy, and through natural methods. And I've become stronger and stronger in my belief. I'm not going to make a claim that I'm completely cured, but alhamdulillah, feeling much better and still on the healing journey. So yeah, alhamdulillah, that's where the journey started off.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so before you came to that journey, did you know anything about the prophetic diet or the impacts it can have on your whole self, your individual self? Did you have any idea of that beforehand?
So probably similar to what other people are going through, kind of at the back of my mind, heard a bit here and a bit there, tried this and tried that. I wasn't really into kind of, I liked living kind of like a chemical-free life. I used to do a few radio shows on plastic-free life. So I was already kind of into that kind of, that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
But not kind of strict. I didn't know a lot about it. I wasn't educated enough.
Yeah.
Like I said, something like, maybe people talk about dates or honey,
Yes.
or some of the things that the Prophet might have had. I didn't actually truly look into the benefits of herbs and all the things that Allah has blessed the earth with.
Oh, subhanallah. So then once you started getting into it, obviously that must have been quite challenging because you were doing it because of your health, as you've said. But then how did that then transcend into your family, and how did that work in the dynamics and everything?
So I have to admit, it is a very challenging path to follow. Alhamdulillah, we're blessed, and we've got hospitals, the NHS, and doctors, and they have their own place. And it's difficult for a lot of people to take any other path. And to take this path for any illness, you have to have a lot of belief and you have to have a lot of patience.
Yes.
Because with any natural medicine, it takes longer. So you are challenged. So there have been many challenges. Some of the challenges have been convincing family and friends that this was the right path for me.
Yes.
So, dealing with an illness in itself obviously takes it out of you, and then having to have the challenge of family, saying, no, this is not the right decision, and we're not sure, there's not enough research to back it up. And it's fear. I can
Yes.
understand where they come from.
It's change, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And if it's something completely different that they're not used to, then not everybody will back you up.
Yes.
So those were the challenges I had. And then along the way, the different symptoms that you get from natural medicine. Because I think with if you go through the normal path and through the NHS medicine and that you know what you're going to expect, you know what the symptoms are. There's research has been done to it. So that's where the faith comes in, where you have to really rely on the healing journey.
Yes.
But I have to say that I really discovered myself.
Subhanallah.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Did you see a healer before you started to do your investigations? Did you go for diagnoses or advice from somebody who had studied with medicine with herbs and eating?
Absolutely. Please don't take anything in your own hands. Nobody's experienced enough. You have to be under somebody to be healed from any type of illness, small or
Yes.
big. So yes, absolutely. I was diagnosed by the NHS, but then decided to take medicine and the journey through a natural healer. So yes, I was guided all the way through. But as I was being guided, I was also educating myself on the way.
Yes.
And that's where I decided to also join the course with the College of Medicine and Healing
Yeah.
Arts.
Subhanallah. And I think I'd like to reiterate that there's so many people who is their way of life, and they are professionals in their own right, because
Yeah.
they've started from scratch. They've educated themselves. They've gone all over the world to
Absolutely.
study. We've got so many people literally on our doorstep, mashallah, in Leicester. So that we were going to come on to that in terms of where you studied. So then the path on terms, obviously you started seeking it for yourself, you went to see a specialist, but then when you started getting into it yourself, why did you start studying it after? So once you've gone past trying to help yourself, the further because you wanted to go further. So who did you study with, and also what benefits did you find up from helping yourself, how you wanted to help other people as well?
Okay. So once I started to heal myself and I could truly see the benefits, and sometimes humans have to see results before they
Yes.
actually believe. Even though I already had faith from the beginning, it was that I had to actually see results. And when I could see that I was healing myself, and that healing wasn't just about medicines, it was about food, and it was about stress levels and environment, and there was much more to it
Yes.
than just popping a pill. I thought, subhanallah, Allah has created us so beautifully. And this is when I really thought, I need to look into this. Yes, I'm healing myself, but I need to understand, what am I healing myself through? So
Yeah.
if I was going to blindly just heal myself, under a professional, for me, I don't think that was, I would have been satisfied with that. Because I really wanted to understand, what is it that Allah has created on the earth for us, and how can we heal ourselves
Yes.
by using all the things that Allah has put on the earth. And so through the journey, I started to learn about all the medicines I was using, and then I started to look into them. And then I saw the course with Hakeem Salim, and I thought, perfect, this is exactly what I need to help me educate myself further. Because I knew this was now a lifetime thing.
Yes.
It wasn't something that I was going to have for about 2 years and then that's it, I forget about it. This was now a lifestyle.
It was a journey for you.
Absolutely. And it was a turnaround, and it's there's no going back. So I need to understand, how am I going to develop myself through this journey.
Yes.
So absolutely, that's why I then enrolled on the course, and alhamdulillah, it was exactly what I was looking for.
Mashallah. So can I just ask in that, so to what level have you done the tip course with Sheikh?
So I've just finished the level 4 with Hakeem Salim,
Mashallah.
and inshallah hoping to go back for level 5 and 6 next year.
Mashallah.
So yeah, alhamdulillah, absolutely, recommend the course, even if you just do the level 1 and 2, just to understand how to change basic things in your life.
Yeah.
So I know not everybody can study herbs, and I'm not, and that's not my intention. What I would like to say to people is, just to make a bit more of an awareness, just educate yourself on basic things like the spices that we use in our everyday cooking.
Yes.
So what else are they used for? They're very versatile. You know, they're not just there
It's
to...
actually incredible, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. They're not just
Subhanallah.
there to, you know, make the food taste nice. Like, you know, simple things like garlic and ginger and
They
turmeric.
all have,
You can do
subhanallah.
wonders with just those three.
Yes,
And, you know, just
subhanallah.
really looking into what else can I do with the herbs that are in my in my kitchen. And I think it's really important because the people who have this knowledge, once they're gone, I don't think we have many people who are
Well, this
carrying
is
on
it,
with
isn't
this.
it comes to the question is when we're seeking knowledge, we're always talking about education and seeking knowledge and being peoples of knowledge, but what good we know what good is having the knowledge if you're not sharing it out to others,
Absolutely,
right? And especially in this blessed month, we're talking about being better people than when we started. So take me back then. So when you started the course, you said you've done up to level 4, and inshallah you want to do level 5. Just give us a quick summary. So from levels 1 to 4, what is kind of the things that are covered in there? So just for our listeners, so they have an idea.
So the level 1 and 2 is kind of basic. It's just talking about how you can change your own lifestyle with regards to food and with regards to stress and environment and all the factors that are affecting health. And then you also kind of cover, you know, what's going on in today's society and how we're ruining ourselves through all sorts of things that we're doing.
Yes.
That is kind of, you know, we're not connected with our bodies. So kind of just learning to connect with yourself and really appreciating yourself.
Yeah.
So it's a very basic kind of course for everybody, really. I recommend whoever can do it. It's really something that, you know, you
But
should get.
it's knowing yourself, isn't it?
Absolutely,
And you
yeah.
can't know yourself. If you don't know yourself, you don't know others.
No,
right?
no, you can't. I don't think you
And
can know others if you don't understand
subhanallah.
your own self. And I think when you do discover yourself and you really truly understand yourself, you know, you'll be amazed at your own body and you will understand how you can heal yourself.
Yes.
And really truly heal yourself. And you know, your body will work with you.
Subhanallah.
Sister and child, we're all different and we all come with different illnesses, and some things work for some people and not for others. Can you explain a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the Tib Unani medicine, it takes you as an individual. So it doesn't take your symptoms. So for example, if 5 people came in with a headache, I'm not going to treat all 5 people the same.
Yes.
They've you know, their headaches all can be caused by something completely different. So you look at the individual themselves. You're assessing their what we call the mizaj, which is the temperament of the body, and all of that is very important because, like you said, everybody's different. Everybody has their own temperament, and whether they're in balance or not in balance. So you really have to understand the person and take lots and lots of details and then get to the core of the problem. So you're looking at a whole person rather than just the symptom in itself. And that's the beauty about this type of healing.
You know, I
Mashallah.
went to my doctor's this morning and I told him all of my symptoms because I thought they were going to actually do something this time. And each one of them, he just ticked them off. Duh, forget about that. Don't worry about this. And he just went through all of them. I said, but surely all of these things together tell you something. I'm missing a link here somewhere. I need you to help me. He said, just go and get an x-ray for this and take some antidepressants and,
Yes, subhanallah.
you know, and it was, I'm still baffled. And I said to my daughter, you need to come with me because they won't listen to me when I'm on my own.
Yeah, I think that would be quite
and it's,
frustrating as well.
But this is the whole point, isn't it? And this is why when people either go to the doctor, they get a whole list of things, which they don't know what to do because it's language that isn't easy to understand, and it's
Yes.
not put in practical sense.
Absolutely.
Or then you've got just take medicine for this, and it's a one fits all, and it's not that.
It's not about healing either,
And it's
is
not
it?
No, I mean, all due
healing,
respect
so-
to the doctors, they all
Yes.
work hard and they get, you know,
Yes.
they work hard for their careers. But the whole point of why I run classes as well
Yes.
is so we don't have to keep on relying on doctors. And you can see how busy they're getting and how stressed the NHS is becoming. So for simple things, I mean, if you think about the past, what did people do? So this is when I'm saying that those people who have got this knowledge, once they're gone, and they're going to, you know, that's gone with them. And I think you were saying we should share the knowledge. But I think a lot of older people don't want to talk about this kind of thing because they feel that the young people are not
I'm
interested.
not going to listen.
So it's called old wives' tales.
Yeah,
and
but do you
things.
remember when we were growing up? Because our generation,
Yeah.
when our parents were from Pakistan, India, Africa, they used to do all this stuff, and
Absolutely.
I never really questioned it until I got older, and then I started looking into prophetic medicine and the Sunnah, and I was like, Subhanallah. All these years, my parents were saying, Amrin, you need to do this and you need to. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It wasn't just old wives' tales.
And this is
No,
why
absolutely.
I think they hold back, is because
Subhanallah.
they know that there's, people are now educated in a different way. So this
Yes.
kind of medicine doesn't have a place. So I think that's
Yeah.
why the older generation have stopped advising people. And since I've started the course and since I've started healing myself, my mum's actually started to come out with more and more.
Mashallah.
So she's got so much knowledge that I didn't know
Even my
about.
dad, I've been doing the
Absolutely.
same, and alhamdulillah, he's like, see, I told you this is why. And it's just amazing because I think it's such an ocean that, once you start studying and looking
Yeah.
into the prophetic way, subhanallah, and, getting to know yourself, it's amazing. It really is really awakening, isn't it?
It's a hug on our body.
Subhanallah.
Our body has a hug on us, and we need to understand our body.
Yes.
We can't expect somebody else to always give us an explanation for our symptoms.
Yes.
If we understand our body and we're really taking care of it and really giving it time,
Yeah.
then we will know why the symptoms are there, what's triggered it off. So we won't need
Absolutely.
to keep on running to the doctor and say, okay, I've got a headache today, I've got a tummy ache today. We will understand our own selves.
And we need to take responsibility for ourselves.
Absolutely,
As
yes.
you've said, it's a hug upon our body, but also for our family.
Yes.
It's going to be a challenge, as you've said. And I've spoken to many people who try the prophetic way, and it's always a challenge, but it's slowly.
It gets there.
It's
just like the
building
Prophet,
up,
peace be upon him,
subhanallah.
taught through examples, and this is exactly the same thing. So when I first started off, a lot of people were not interested and thought, she's a bit crazy, and these kind of things just don't work. But then, alhamdulillah, I mean, with the children and people around me, they're starting to warm up to it. So
Yes.
it's all through example. I can't just go out there and say to you, oh, do this and do that, without you actually seeing it. Because it's new now in a sense, even though it's not new.
Yes.
But it's new for the
It's
for
new
the
information.
generation that's growing
Yes.
up. It's new for them.
That's right.
So they now have to see examples.
That's right. Subhanallah. We've just had a text message. So before we go into that, so we're talking about the prophetic way, the way of life today, with myself, Sister Amreen as your host, and Sister Salma as my co-host. And we've got Sister Inshad Begum who's here because she's in that field and she's currently studying, alhamdulillah. So we are on Ramadan special on EAVA FM 102.5 on www.ramadan.fm. We are on Facebook Live. We've just had a text message as well to say which website is called. There's actually a few courses happening which have come to light. So this one in particular is so there's Mohsin Clinic on East Park Road. It's www.comha.org.uk Leicester. We will try to get the link on our Facebook page, inshallah. There is a telephone number as well, which is 016 273 8614. So you can pop down to East Park Road to go and register because they run through courses. Do you know when the next course is for the
June.
It's
The level
June.
1 and 2 is June.
And there's one with Dr. Alia as well, who's based from Derby. She's a Unani tip specialist as well. If you go onto her Facebook page, which is Al Nasiha Services, and you can enroll for that course too. That's a 4-week course, is it? It's every Tuesday starting. Is it from next
It's
week?
for 4 hours a day,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yes.
So it's only the morning, I believe,
It's
from
a
like
16-hour course.
yeah,
It's
so
well worth it.
It's like a 4 hours a week, and you get all your information that you need. But that's like a basic level. But it's a good introduction to the prophetic way, inshallah. Okay, so we've got about just over 5 minutes. So we want to hear from our audience, inshallah, if you got any text messages or like to call in. The studio number is 0116 212 9324. The text number is 07 450 95084. So today we're talking about prophetic medicine, the way of life. Okay, so we've gone through quite a lot already, Sister Inshad, Jazakallah khair. So in terms of so when you first started doing the course and when you were going through that journey of making it a way of your life, what was the biggest kind of, I guess, wake up calls for you? What was that when you started looking into everything?
I think that's when I really understood the value of health. And subhanallah,
There's a saying, isn't there? You can never sympathize with someone who is not well unless you have already been ill. I can't think of the exact words,
Yeah.
But it's only the people who have lost their health that value their health.
Absolutely,
Yes.
that value it. And before that, I mean, I'm also guilty of it. You do take advantage of your body.
We don't realize.
Yes, always on flight mode, and
Subhanallah.
you're not relaxing. You're not, giving your body the right things. So that's when I actually realized and learnt the importance of sleep, fresh air, things like just meditating, taking time out, just being on our own is so important. I mean, if you think about the Prophet, peace be upon him, he used to go to the cave, to meditate. And if you think about, Maryam alayhi salam, she also used to, be a lot on her own.
Yes.
That solidarity. So just being on your own and spending time and really getting to know yourself, and then also become close to Allah. We don't have time for that anymore. We're so busy.
Yes.
Our minds are constantly clogged up. If it's not noise pollution, it's subhanallah, I know it's not nice to say, but it's things like ghiba,
Yes,
or
it's true,
the chattering of the mind. We just don't have any emptiness anymore. Our brain is so overloaded, and that is one of the main reasons for a lot of illnesses. Stress.
Yeah, it's how we take on things that are not really relevant, but it's the rat race, isn't it? And it's consciously being aware of your surroundings and not allowing it to affect you in the negative way that it does.
Things that shaitan sends to distract us as well.
Yes.
And it's the wealth, it's the money, it's money, it's distractions, our telephones, media, games, television. We sort of fit into a lifestyle of people who don't generally have faith, and it's just not popular to talk about God. In my lifetime, when I was younger, it wasn't so taboo as it is now. Now, if you talk about it, you're a bit of a weirdo.
Absolutely.
But this is why you have to consciously take responsibility for who you want to be.
Yes.
And not fall into what the crowd are doing.
Yeah.
As us as adults, but it's even more challenging for our millennials and our younger people, because that's all they've got around them. So it's bringing it back to basics, bringing it back to what our Prophet ﷺ has given us to do.
Nourishing the soul.
It's
We
nourishing,
don't nourish the soul
subhanallah.
at all. Yes, we might do dhikr here and there, and obviously salah, which was a form of meditation before. For the Sahabis, that was a form of meditation, and this is something that is very difficult for us. I don't think we can come to meditate through salah.
Yeah, subhanallah.
And this is all nourishing the soul.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we pay a lot of attention to the outside, what we can see, what's our appearance, but the soul, because we can't see it, we don't pay much attention to it.
This is it.
And I think this is one thing I also learnt, the importance of that, and that is where health starts.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a text message, so Jazakallah khair, whoever that is. Salams, I think one of my favorite medicine when I am ill is honey, a sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mashallah. Me and my husband, Jansen, use it all the time, and it always works a treat. So yeah, after the break, we will be talking about
the real
recipes. We will be talking about recipes. We'll be talking about things of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the things that are far more beneficial than we may realize. So it is Ramadan special on EAVA FM 102.5. We're on www.ramadan.fm. We are on Facebook Live, so Jazakallah khair to those of you who have tuned in. We are in the studio. The telephone number is 212-9324. Text number is 07450 And today's topic on Our Voice is prophetic medicine, the way of life. So please keep your questions coming in, inshallah, and anything you'd like to ask us. We've got Sister Inshad here who's studying. She has started the path, alhamdulillah, and she's helping herself, but she's trying to help the community that she's a part of as well, inshallah.
Can I just say, just before the break, that this show was born out of a show that we did a couple of days ago.
Yes,
called
on Tuesday.
We Are What We Eat.
Yes.
And we just got so carried away in conversation, and it was just so fascinating. And both of us have done the course with Dr. Alia, so it was all fresh in our minds.
Yes.
And we just thought we need to go deeper into this. So we're so happy that you could join us today.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And take us further into prophetic medicine and how we can all benefit from it.
Yes, alhamdulillah. I'd just like to go through the website to enroll for the course. For one of them is www.comha.org.uk. And inshallah, we will see you shortly after the break. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. You are here on Our Voice on Ramadan Special on EAVA FM on 102.5. I am joined here in the studio with my guest, Sister Inshad, who's joined us today, and Sister Salma, my co-host. So, we are discussing the prophetic medicine and the way of life. So before the break, we were talking about the challenges, the reason why Sister Inshad has made changes in her life to her diet and her way of life because of her health reasons, and kind of changing the mindset in terms of educating herself, but also to educate other people. So I want to hear from our studio audience. Our studio number is 0116 212 9324. The text number is 07450 925084. So, Sister Inshad, would you like to just read that lovely text message that we've had in today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, says Salam Sisters, listening to your show in the car whilst I'm driving. I'd love to have more details on the course if you could post it on Facebook page so I can check it later. I agree with understanding our bodies. Going back to when I was pregnant, I researched so much and I was determined to have a natural birth. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to with my stuff, but alhamdulillah, with my second, I had a home birth and it was perfect without any intervention or drugs. So many people thought I was crazy. We rely so much on doctors, and birth is so natural. A lot of people I know who have complications, and of course this can happen, but we also need to educate ourselves on what is happening to our bodies, the changes and things to expect so we can reduce the risks. Absolutely. Really well written and well done. It's a really good experience to be able to try and have children at home. And yes, and that's the way they did it in the past. But, if you're comfortable with that, then absolutely.
Yes.
So well done to you.
So, mashallah, and this is why it's, get your own doula, do your study yourself,
Yes.
check everybody out, go to these forums that recommend people in that particular field, make informed decisions,
You've
So,
actually run some
alhamdulillah.
classes on this.
Yeah,
I
so
believe,
that then
Sister Inshad.
probably comes on to Mizan therapy. Mizan therapy is a therapy which deals with ladies' issues. It's a special massage that it kind of focuses on the abdomen area, the legs and the back. And it helps with many issues that we're faced with today, from endometriosis to infertility to PCOS, to just,
Regular cycle problems.
normal
Yeah.
period pains. And I run classes and I educate women and girls to help them understand that these issues that they are experiencing are not normal. Because I know that we have been grown up to understand that things like PMS is normal.
Yes.
When it isn't, is your body actually telling you that there's something wrong, and then we have it for years and years and years, and this is how my issue started off in the first place, because I accepted it to be normal, and then it obviously got really bad and just out of control. So this is when I also got the passion for Mizan, because after I had surgery, I was going through what you call a surgical menopause, and I was really struggling. So nobody told me that there was going to be issues after surgery. I was going to experience things, and I wasn't sure whether what I was experiencing was normal. I had to do my own research. So I was lumbered with something that I had no education about. So I went through anxiety and depression and indigestion and food-related issues, all sorts of things.
Subhanallah.
And it was all related to the fact that I'd had the surgery, and there was just no information afterwards to say this is going to now happen. So I discovered Mizan therapy, and alhamdulillah, it really helped me. And this is when I thought, wow, I need to learn this. And there are loads of people out there who really need to, really need to learn about this and know it's out there. So then I went on the course,
Yes.
and I did Mizan therapy, and alhamdulillah, it's been a year now. I'm not practicing as a Mizan therapist where I'm doing the massage for people, unfortunately, because of my health. I don't have the
Yes.
strength. So I thought, what could I do?
Yes.
I've done the course. How could I now bring the word out? And there's nobody in Leicester that does Mizan therapy. So then I decided to run classes, and in the classes, so I educate people. And we talk about different symptoms and how to look after yourself through between your cycles, after birth. It's really important. A lot of women in this country just get up and get on with it.
Yes.
And subhanAllah, we have that
The
40
lucky
days
ones get
in
chicken
Islam.
soup, don't they?
Absolutely. But if you look
Subhanallah.
at other countries, and again, go back to your deen, what are those 40 days for? Allah has given you that time to rest. And again, if you look at the cycle, why has Allah given you a cycle throughout the month? Allah is giving you, again, time to rest.
Subhanallah.
So we really have to understand from the core, why has Allah given us certain things? And just educating women and helping them to understand that this is a time of month where I want them to actually enjoy and to relax and to understand themselves and not dread it. A lot of women and a lot of young girls dread having a cycle.
Yeah, they're like, oh my gosh, it's like, I can't do anything. I'm going to be
Because
in so
it's
much
associated with
pain.
pain. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can't go here. I'm just going to stay at home.
Yeah, it's associated with pain.
Subhanallah.
And if you look around the world where people are eating more healthy and their lifestyles are healthier, these symptoms don't exist.
Yes.
Is it true that they don't get menopause in Japan?
So places like the Hunza tribe in Japan, everybody gets the menopause, but it's much later. So I was reading a book, and apparently in the Hunza tribe, they're still having babies till they're like 70.
Subhanallah.
But again, it's down to diet and environment and all of these things.
They don't
and-
have the same.
and they don't get the
fascinating.
symptoms of the
Issues.
menopause, so that's what they probably mean.
The
They get the menopause,
symptoms,
but they don't get
yes.
the symptoms.
Yes.
So, I mean, here, again, the menopausal symptoms have become a norm.
Yes.
So if you go onto Google, there's a whole load of menopausal symptoms which shouldn't be there.
Yes.
So, you know, they're not normal. They shouldn't exist. They're only there because due to diet and lifestyle.
It's environment. It's everything.
Absolutely. And they just make you accept it. And the same with PMS. You know, girls just think, well, it's just part of life. I have to accept it. And it can be quite stressful.
Yes,
so,
subhanallah.
yeah, alhamdulillah. So the classes I run, they kind of educate people to understand how to
Yeah.
look after themselves.
Subhanallah. We've had Rahima Karatella, one of our co-hosts, who has a show on Fridays, alhamdulillah, at 11 o'clock. She said, when is the next Mizan therapy course? So do you have dates yet?
I don't have any dates.
Can we put your details on the Facebook page
yeah, I'll
later?
put my details up,
Okay,
inshallah.
inshallah. If you give
So
them to
I
me.
run a practical and then, I run a theory and then following on to a practical.
Practical. Okay. And how often do you do them?
Before Ramadan, we fitted in about 6 full classes. And then after Ramadan, we'll have to see how many we can fit in.
Okay, inshallah.
I'm also thinking about education women on just herbs in the garden.
Yes.
Things like weed and, you know, things that we'd probably chuck away.
Yeah.
That can be beneficial to us. For example, like dandelion and nettle and their uses. Something of running classes for women.
You
for
said
that as
weed.
well.
You didn't mean weed.
I mean garden weed.
Garden
Garden
weed.
weed. Okay, so we've got about just over.
Clarify.
We've got just over 16 minutes to
We
the
do
show.
have the CBS oil out there now.
CBD
Everybody
oil.
keeps asking.
CBD oil. Well, I don't know too much, so I'm not going to talk about that. Okay, so we have a text message saying, Salam, did the sister not take any Western medication throughout her illness, or did she combine the two medicines? Second question, what top 5 sunnah foods can we all incorporate into our daily diet to help us
That's a
with
great
our health? So we are going to talk about that.
Yeah, top 5 to
so
eat
the
and to
first
avoid,
thing,
I think.
can we talk about did you try Western medicine? I think you said you did, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You
no.
didn't at
all. When I got my diagnosis, like I said, that eye just came into my head, and that was it. So I didn't take no Western medicine. I just relied on, like I said, Allah's pharmacy
Subhanallah.
and lots of du'as, and you know, just changing the way I am. So,
Oh, mashallah.
you know, focusing on self healing and positivity.
Subhanallah.
So yeah, no.
Changing your mindset and then
Yes, but it
what-
doesn't work for everybody. So it doesn't mean that
course.
Western medicine doesn't work. It really depends who you are,
Yes.
where you come from, and you know what your mindset is like, and how strong are you. So you have to think about all these things.
Yeah,
everybody's
absolutely.
different, so it really depends on what suits which person.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that then brings me on to, so let's talk about the kind of what you'd recommend in terms of the main prophetic diets and the healing attributes.
So everybody's different. In the
Yes.
Tib medicine, like I said, we don't just kind of have a prescription for everybody. So we do look at people's temperaments, their mizaj. So if you're a hot temperament or cold, depending on what kind of person you are, what's going on in your life. So with regards to the prophetic medicine, foods, I think generally they're okay, but then if you don't truly understand yourself, again, it can be difficult. So, for example, I could say to you, dates, alhamdulillah, everybody knows that it's a sunnah, they're good to have.
Yes.
But if you're a hot temperament and you have too many, it's not good for you. So this is the whole
You
point.
can mix it with
So-
cucumber and things.
So that's what I was
like
going to
Something
ask.
cold,
so
but
it's
then
that. Cooling.
somebody who's got a hot temperament, but being Ramadan, because we're in this month, what else can we recommend for that
Yeah.
individual to have?
So yeah, then mixing it with something cold, but then also understanding if that cold thing is in season. So this is another thing we don't do anymore, is we don't eat in season. So we have watermelons in December and we have cucumbers in December, and when our body's already cold, we're making it more cold. So yes, you can mix. You're absolutely right, especially in the hotter weather, like mango and milk. So that, with the hot and the cold,
Right.
you can do that. But then again, just please make sure that is it in season? Is it going to suit my body? Because if I say to somebody, okay, your hot temperament, have dates, but have something cold with it, and it didn't suit them, it's quite tricky. But
Yeah.
there are a list of things that we could incorporate into our diet that the Prophet, peace be upon him, kind of had.
Yeah. Subhanallah. So what other things would you say are the other things that we can have, that we can incorporate into our daily?
So we've got things like dates, you've got your honey, you've got your olive. I mean, the olive itself and then the olive leaf, subhanAllah, is absolutely amazing. One of the best antibiotics. Everybody should have it in their household. So just simple things
Olive
like
is
this.
an antibiotic.
Olive leaf,
the leaf.
the leaf of the, and you can have the tree, just grow it in a pot, and then you can have the leaves when you're feeling under the weather. So yeah, olives. You've got your barley. There's a whole list of things that the Prophet, peace be upon him, would eat, but then again, he would look at when and why. So I think what we tend to do, and this is what I did before, was we just look at the list and we think, oh yeah, I'm going to have all these things. The Prophet, peace be upon him, had them, so it must be a sunnah.
Yeah.
But what we need to understand is, yes, he did, but when did he have them, and for what reason did he have them?
Yes.
I mean, I was only reading the other day an article that Hakim Salim had written in Riyadh al-Jannah, the magazines,
Yes.
about ginger, and apparently it was given as a gift from the Romans to the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Subhanallah.
So again, we have to understand how things were eaten and when they were eaten and by whom, and then we can't just take a list of prophetic things and then incorporate it into our diet, because it might not suit us.
And then wonder why it doesn't work. Because you want a
Yes.
result, you think it's going to have a result straight away.
Yeah.
But we've also got, like you've said, is certain things need to be taken at certain times of the day and certain seasons of the day.
Absolutely.
And I speak to so many people, I tried the Prophet, but it's not working. I'm like, well, if you're going to take 10 things at once, your body is not designed to accept that. And also, it's a prophetic diet. It's going to take time isn't it over 90 days or 6 months for your body to detox first? So you need to do a detox first, don't you?
Yeah,
That's
I think
what's
Islamically
recommended.
it's about 9 months. I mean,
9 months.
40 days.
Yeah.
But to really, truly detox is about 9 months. So when I
Yeah.
started my diet, I was given 9 months. So they said to me, you need 9 months to really detox the body.
Subhanallah. You've got some Facebook.
Realised it took that long.
You've got some, it does, because Dr. Alia said it to us as well. It takes 9 months, subhanAllah. We have a few Facebook messages. So Jazakallah khair to all you Facebookers. Today we're talking about prophetic medicine and herbs and the way of life. We've had Sister Anjum saying, is that Inshad in the yellow scarf? Yes, it is. Maybe somebody from school, I don't know. We've got another message saying, Ahmed Marvella has joined us, so Jazakallah khair. We've got Fifi Fleur saying, Assalamu alaikum sisters. It's Banu, Jazakallah khair, wa alaikum salam. And we've got, I hope you remember me. So yeah, I think maybe from school, maybe.
SubhanAllah.
So-
I'm not on Facebook, so
Yeah,
I'm not very
maybe.
technical. SubhanAllah.
No, but alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khair. So you're on Ramadan special on EAVA FM 102.5. We have like literally 10 minutes left. Let's see, inshallah, what we can try and cover in 10 minutes. So to recommend somebody, then we've talked about, we've gone through a lot. So let's have maybe some recipes of things that people can do in these last blessed days of Ramadan, inshallah, that you can.
Excellent. Just before I give the recipes, if I quickly just kind of talk about the things that you should change in your diet that will really help you, or try to
Yes.
avoid. I think a quick 5 minutes on that. So
Yes.
I would really recommend cutting out the white sugar. Trying to cut down on genetically modified food. So there's something called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. Google it, keep it on your fridge. And I know not a lot of people can afford organic fruit and veg, but if you can just stick to the Clean 15 and then change the Dirty Dozen, you're doing a big change in your body.
Yes.
Cutting down on things like white salt, change it to the Himalayan salt. And for your sugars, like a lot of people then say to me, oh, what do I have? What can I have then? There's loads of alternatives. SubhanAllah, we've got honey, you've got date syrup, you've got coconut sugar, you've got stevia. Oh, there's a whole list, and you can again just Google that.
Stevia is actually good for the heart, I hear.
It is, and it's also very alkaline. So you've got so many options. we make lots of vegan desserts with alternatives for sweeteners. You really don't need the white sugar, honestly. It's not doing you any favors. Again, wheat, we have a big reliance on wheat. We eat a
Yes.
lot of it, and everything has it, you know, your
Subhanallah.
pastries, your chapatis, your bread.
My daughter made pizza yesterday with almond flour.
Oh, nice. Yes.
So it's
and you can
trying
make
out all
lovely
the other
cakes.
flowers, isn't
Yes,
it?
absolutely.
There's so many other flowers out there, like subhanallah.
Lots of what you call biblical flowers that are
Yes.
like Asian grains, you know, trying them. And again, just going back to heritage and looking at like the Asian cultures where they had different types of flowers and they would
Yes.
mix different types of flowers and wouldn't always use wheat. So again, you know, our reliance on wheat, trying to cut that down, and water as well, like trying to have filtered water rather than, you know, the toxic water that we have. Not everybody can afford it,
Yeah.
but if it is affordable, then it's something to consider.
But we
'cause
can
again,
get the jugs where you can just put
Absolutely,
the
yeah,
water
whatever you
in,
can
boil
afford.
the water, put it in a jug, in a filter jug,
Yeah,
and you know.
just kind of thinking about
Yeah.
what you can afford and then trying to fit that into your lifestyle. I would say make small changes
Yes.
rather than not making any at all. Make small changes. Don't become overwhelmed. Make a list and see what's the easiest things that you can change, and
Yes.
inshallah then Allah opens doors for you.
Yes, alhamdulillah. It's making that intention, like you say,
Absolutely.
isn't it? Okay, so we have about 8 minutes left.
Right,
so
let's have a look
some
then.
kind of Sister in Charge actually has some books as well. So I'm going to put the books up while she's looking for the recipe. So we have one book. This is by Introductory to Islamic Medicine by Hakim Salim. There's that one there. We will put them up on the Facebook page, and we have another one which is called the Traditional Healer's Handbook as well.
A classic guide to the medicine of Avicenna.
Yes, so we will get these up,
Chishti.
inshallah.
Yes.
And we have got another one, which I have this one as well, which is The Golden Key to Discovering Yourself by Sheikh Hakim Salim also. This is a great book as well. So yes,
This is
inshallah.
another one that I've
This is one that Sister Salma recommends. It's called Traditional Roots of Medicine in Modern Roots to Health. So there's that one too. So we will, inshallah, get them on and put where you can get them from stockists, inshallah. Okay, inshallah. Salams again, another message. Where don't we have milk with fish come from? It's sunnah or culture. Oh, the milk and fish thing. Isn't that science?
I think so, maybe.
I-
Because
I
I've
think
had
it's
fish and
something-
milk and I do
make
not
kitchery.
feel...
react.
I make kitchery with
No.
milk and fish.
Yeah, well, I've had
There
milk
you go
and
then.
kitchery. Sorry, I have milk and fish, and it does not make me feel that great after.
I
So
think
there's something
There
definitely.
is something I would like to add. In the Jewish tradition, they don't mix milk with meat or any dairy products with meat because they say it's like cooking the baby in its mother's milk. So it's a Jewish tradition that you just don't mix dairy with meat.
Wow, did not know that. But in regards to fish and milk, I don't know. But all I can say is, those of you that have tried fish and milk, you'll know not to do it again. Honestly, because it just makes you.
Probably just can't digest it. I think that it's probably just the digestion, really.
Okay. And sometimes when people do get sick, sometimes it's just because they're sick.
Combinations.
It
We
can-
need
it can
to
be
look
anything.
at also food combinations and what goes and what doesn't go. We don't look at this as well now.
Yeah,
just
and we also don't
eat
look at
anything.
emotion, how
Absolutely.
emotion affects our whole well-being anyway.
Yes, and digestion.
And
so,
digestion.
not eating when you're upset because it's not, you're not going to digest the food very well. It's not really giving you any benefit. So yeah, thinking about things like that as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. It's
Absolutely.
not just one size fits all, as we've said.
Can I just ask Sister Inshad, you mentioned about detoxing taking up to 9 months, but what simple things every day can we do to help clean our system out?
So a detox for me took 9 months because obviously my illness was much more, big. But for a simple detox, a detox can be something as simple as a glass of warm water on an empty stomach. Even that's considered a detox. So it really depends, what your body is doing, what state you're in, and what you're detoxing from. So if it's just, I just want a general detox, then even a glass of warm water in the morning, which I recommend everybody should start their day with anyway. Even that is a simple detox.
Yeah. So even like putting turmeric in, if your body can take that, those kind of things.
I normally
Depends.
recommend either a bit of the Himalayan salt
Yeah.
or rotate it and then have apple cider vinegar or maybe
Yes.
lemon, even a bit of olive oil in there just to help detox.
Okay.
Turmeric, only works well when you mix it with black pepper to get
Yes.
the best benefits.
On its own, it doesn't. It's
Not as much. No, it's
yeah.
not as beneficial. Yeah.
And in the
okay.
break, you mentioned nabis.
Nabiz, yeah. So that's
Nabiz.
one of the recipes. So again, it's from the book of Hakim Salim, and he recommends nabiz. And if you do sign up to his website, he will also send you information. This is one of the things he's recommended in Ramadan. I've been doing it for the children. Alhamdulillah, it gives you slow energy and keeps you going throughout the day. So some of you are probably already making it and using it. So in here it says soak 100 grams of dates in a liter of pure clean water in a utensil covered with a plate and leave it overnight. Next morning you can drink the water and eat the soaked dates, or just use a blender to blend the water and soak the fruit to obtain a beautiful cloudy nabiz. And then drink within 24 hours, I think, because after a while it can become a bit alcoholic.
Yeah,
so people
it's
say.
not,
So
Yes, I
Gets-
made some date wine last week.
It gets
fermenting
pungent.
it for too long.
my
subhanallah.
children found it hilarious.
It gets pungent. So yeah, we
Yeah.
need to
Mummy's
be
making
mindful.
wine.
We need to be mindful of when we're doing the prophetic diet that they have a lifespan.
Yes, absolutely.
And
yeah.
we don't think you can make a batch for 3 days because it'll become poisonous
I
then,
think-
won't
yeah,
it?
of course.
And the gases will be released, which will be such a profound effect on the body. So it'll be pointless to do it. So
and things are better fresh anyway.
Yes.
It's not a difficult thing to make. So try that for suhoor if you've not tried it, and see how you feel the next day. Inshallah,
Yeah.
it should give you more energy.
yeah, alhamdulillah.
What about raisins? When you soak raisins, it helps to cleanse the system, I understand.
Yeah, there is an actual detox that you can do with raisins. I don't know off the top of my head, but yes, it's a similar thing to
It's the
nabiz.
same thing. You soak the raisins in water, you leave it overnight, you drain it out, and then you drink just the water.
Okay. Does that give you a detox?
That gives you a
It
detox
helps
as well.
you to cleanse the system.
And it
Excellent.
also helps with inflammation because I try that myself. Jazakallah khair to our Facebookers. We've got Vlogs and Bants and Amanda Garcia who's joined. Oh, Dr.
Anna
Sarah,
Maria
we have
Garcia.
another message. Anne Maria, sorry, I can't read the Facebook. It's makes my eyes go funny. Okay, we have another message saying, Assalamu alaikum, it's Dr. Sarah. Alhamdulillah, I've done the tip course with Dr. Alia and Mizan with Sis Inshad. I've been able to include tip practice along with my homeopathy. I recommend listening to Adhan for people suffering with depression or sleep problems. Jazakallah for bringing this topic up. Jazakallah khair, Dr. Sarah. May Allah bless you. Thank you so much.
I have a very good friend
Alhamdulillah.
who has Parkinson's disease, and she's been given Surah Rahman. But not just listening to Surah Rahman, it has to be by the Egyptian Qari Abdul Basit, Sheikh Abdul Basit,
Subhanallah.
who reads very slowly and very
It's a
strongly.
certain type
But it has
of
amazing
recitation.
healing.
Yes,
And-
I think there's a story behind it. That's
Yes.
why. Yeah, somebody sent it me as well. There's a story behind that Surah Rahman of somebody being
Oh, I'd
cured
love
in
to know
Pakistan
about
with
that.
it. Yeah,
Mashallah.
yeah,
But it's a
there's
certain type of recitation for
Absolutely.
aura qaris that have a certain effect on our body,
yes,
and
and it's
that they've been trained in that way to provide that as well as subhanallah, as for healing.
absolutely.
Whereas,
Yes, yes, and it's
alhamdulillah.
something I have been using as well.
Well, alhamdulillah. Well, we have about just over a minute left. So, alhamdulillah, anything you'd like to share in the last minute, Sister Inshad, inshallah. Any advice for those looking into maybe who've been putting it off to try and try changes? Any advice you'd like to give to our listeners?
Like I said earlier on, don't do too much at once. It can be very overwhelming. And don't try to change people. A lot of the sisters say, oh, but my children won't do it and my husband's not going to change and it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
Like I said right at the beginning, people learn through example. So
Yes.
if you change, then the people around you will start to change slowly but surely. And yourself, just make take one step, baby steps basically. So, don't go home and go crazy and think, taking all these things out of the house, because it's not fair on other members of the family.
Yeah.
So slowly, just think about what do you eat the most? If it's lots of biscuits and sugar, then maybe that's the first thing you need to kind of educate yourself on
Inshallah.
for alternatives.
Jazakallah, we have like 15 seconds left. Jazakallah khair to you coming in at such a
It's
notice.
been
Thank you so
absolutely
much.
wonderful having
Jazakallah,
you
Sister
here.
Salma. It's been myself, and inshallah, we will see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.